Today we are going to go over yesterday's unit assessment, starting with Death Valley. It is spring in California. The sun shines down on a desert road with bright yellow sunflowers in full bloom on either side. Snow-capped mountains tower ahead. The road narrows and winds through the mountains. The mountains part, and there is a valley below. Circling the white valley floor are fields of white wildflowers, golds and pink, purples and pinks. People talk and laugh as they walk through the fields. With so much life, it is hard to believe that this place is actually named Death Valley. An unusual name. Death Valley is said to have earned its name during the pioneer days. In the mid-1800s, many pioneers went to California searching for gold. Some wanted to find a new route that would make their journey shorter and perhaps a bit easier. Little did the pioneers know that their shortcut would include crossing a hot and dry valley. In this valley, the pioneers faced high temperatures and little water. The story goes that as the pioneers left the area, someone said, "Goodbye, Death Valley," and the name stuck. Today, Death Valley is the largest national park outside of Alaska. It includes 4 mountain ranges that extend through the California desert. Death Valley is famous for being the hottest, driest, and lowest place in North America. The heat is on. Summers in Death Valley are hot. During the summer months, the average temperature is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Daytime temperatures can skyrocket to 116 degrees, while nighttime temperatures are in the 80s. Death Valley reaches such high temperatures for a reason. The valley floor is a long and narrow oval that is surrounded by tall mountains. The sun beats down on the valley floor, warming the air. Hot air tends to rise, but the high mountains around the valley are like walls that trap most of the heat during the day. Hot air is then forced back down into the valley, and with little chance to cool off at night, the heat is on. Dry and low. Most deserts get less than 10 inches of rainfall each year, but Death Valley gets less than 2 inches. Some might say it is a super desert. In fact, Death Valley is so dry that visitors are told to bring 1 gallon of water with them each day. What causes the amount of rain to be so small? 4 mountain ranges stand between Death Valley and the Pacific Ocean. As storm clouds from the Pacific move toward the valley, they must rise to cross the mountains. Each time the clouds rise, they lose water in the form of rain or snow. By the time storm clouds have crossed over all 4 ranges, very little water is left for Death Valley. Death Valley is also the lowest place in North America. Most land on Earth is at or above sea level, which is the level of the ocean's surface. Only a few places in the world have land that is below sea level. Death Valley is one of those places. One part of the valley, called Badwater Basin, sinks 282 feet below sea level. Visiting the valley. In spite of its weather conditions, Death Valley welcomes over 1 million visitors each year. With 3.4 million acres of wilderness, there is no lack of things to see or do. Visitors can hike through the colorful canyons, search for interesting wildlife, enjoy the breathtaking views, and camp under the stars of the clear desert sky. Spring is a special time to visit. Wildflowers blossom at the valley as the valley comes alive with color. One spring, Death Valley had a super bloom. The fall before had an unusual high rain. Millions of seeds sprouted in the following months. People flocked to the park in record numbers to experience this event that happens only once every 10 years. Death Valley is a place unlike any other. For some visitors, the weather might be challenging, but those willing to take on a challenge will not be disappointed by the wonders of the hottest, lowest, and driest place in North America. So we're going to look at our questions. Question number 1. What is the central idea of Death Valley? Remember, the central idea is the same as main idea. Is it A, Death Valley is a popular place to visit? Is that something that this entire passage was about, or is that just one part? That's just one part. B, Death Valley is the hottest, lowest, and driest place in the country. Maybe. C, Death Valley was named by pioneers in the 1800s. Again, is that what the entire passage was about, or is that just one section? That's just one section, so no. Or D, Death Valley's weather conditions are challenging. That was just one section of the passage as well, so our answer here is B. And we can get that main idea from our last sentence. Number 2. Read the dictionary entry for the word extend. Extend, verb. 1. To take up space. 2. To cause to last longer. Extend the school day by an hour. 3. To put off until later. Extend a deadline. Or 4. To give or offer. Which definition most closely fits the way extend is used in paragraph 3? So going back up to paragraph 3, it says, today Death Valley is the largest national park outside of Alaska. It includes 4 mountain ranges that extend through the California desert. So it extends through the California desert. Would that be to take up space, to cause to last longer, like you're extending a school day, to put off until later, extending a deadline, or to give or offer? The answer here would be F, because it is taking up space in that desert. Number 3, according to paragraph 10, what was a result of the heavy rainfall in Death Valley? So paragraph 10 says, spring is a special time to visit. Wildflowers blossom as the valley comes alive with color. One spring, Death Valley had a super bloom. The fall before had an unusual high rainfall. Millions of seeds sprouted in the following months. So let's go see if that's one of our answer choices. A, many seeds were washed away by springtime. Nope, didn't say that. B, there were warmer temperatures in springtime. Didn't say that. C, there was a large number of flowers in springtime. Yes. Or D, many areas in the valley were closed by springtime. Nope. So our answer here is C. Number 4, the author organizes the information in paragraph 7 by, so when it says it organizes, that's talking about the text structure. Let's say paragraph 7. What causes the amount of rain to be so small? 4 mountain ranges stand between Death Valley and the Pacific Ocean. As storm clouds from the Pacific move toward the valley, they must rise to cross the mountains. Each time the clouds rise, they lose water in the form of rain or snow. By the time storm clouds have crossed over all 4 ranges, there is very little water left for Death Valley. So is that F, explaining that Death Valley might be too far below sea level? It did not mention sea level, so F is not our answer. G, comparing the rainfall in Death Valley to other deserts? No, because they didn't mention other deserts and we weren't comparing. H, telling how much water should be carried by visiting Death Valley? No, that was mentioned in a different paragraph. Or J, explaining what happened to storms before they reach Death Valley? Yes, storm clouds. We're talking about clouds. So J is our answer. Our next passage is the Redwood Forest. An ancient redwood forest lines the California coast. The forest has been shaped over millions of years, the earth shifting and moving around it. But these trees planted their roots at the beginning of time, proudly rose up and patiently waited, while the rest of the world pieced itself into place. These redwoods mysteriously soar until they touch the sky, giants who rest their heads upon the clouds, their trunks stand like pillars that were built to support the stars. Near the treetops, layers of leaves and limbs intertwine, knitted like a blanket covering the forest. Slithers of sunbeams lazily leak through this leafy roof like drizzles of honey sweetening the shadows. At dawn, fog tiptoes in from the Pacific Ocean and folds her misty fingers around towering trunks, painting the forest with drops of dew. The leaves softly glisten, a shimmering vision in the faint glow of morning. On the ground below, knotted roots grow in twists and turns, like a web that weaves the trees together. Both young and old, a family of woods on the California coast. So, number 5, why is stanza 2 important in the poem? Remember, a stanza is each paragraph. So, stanza 2 would be right here. The forest has been shaped over millions of years. The earth is shifting and moving around it, but these trees have planted their roots at the beginning of time, proudly rose up and patiently waited while the rest of the world pieced itself into place. Is that important because A, it describes the size of the forest? No, it didn't do that. B, it discusses the history of the forest. Yes, it's talking about how it's been there since the beginning of time. So B is a maybe. C, it explains where the forest is located. No, didn't do that. Or D, it tells how the forest protects the land. No, it did not do that. So our answer here is B. Number 6, read the lines from stanza 5. At dawn, fog tiptoes in from the Pacific Ocean and folds her misty fingers around towering trunks. What do the lines tell readers? F, how the fog looks in the forest. Yes, could be. G, how long the fog stays in the forest. Nope, didn't give us any time, so G is not our answer. H, why there is often so much fog in the forest. No, it didn't tell us why. Or J, what it feels like when the fog leaves the forest. And it's not talking about how it feels. So our answer here is F. Number 7, read the dictionary entry for the word vision. Vision, 1, the state of being able to see. 2, the ability to think about the future. 3, a sight of unusual beauty. Or 4, a detailed mental image. Which meaning best matches the way the word vision is used in line 23? So we're going to go to, this is line 25, 24, 23. A shimmering vision in the faint glow of morning. So let's read the line before as well. So the leaves softly glisten. So we're talking about the leaves glistening, a shimmery vision. Would that be definition 1, 2, or 3? The answer is C, definition 3, because we're talking about a sight of unusual beauty. Number 8, the author included a simile in stanza 6 to suggest that the redwoods, so let's go look at that simile in stanza, what did it say, stanza 6? So this is stanza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the ground below, knotted roots grow in twists and turns like a web that weaves the trees together. So would this be F? Have been since the beginning of time. B, are connected to one another through a web of roots in the forest. Could very well be our answer. H, have shimmering leaves. No. And J, are tall enough to reach the sky. No. So our best answer here is G. So we're going to pause here and do a brain break, and then we will move on to the paired questions for the paired passages.